start to drop dead because of the different things in the air, and they'll have to move everyone north. Now, they're not going to say that on Fox News. They're not going to say that on MSNBC because they don't want to scare society. They don't want to tell you that, hey, things are really bad in the Gulf, and it's almost like a sinister thing almost that, they aren't telling us that. They aren't saying, hey, we need to move out of the area. If you look at the report, like yesterday, they're saying, I think it was the Center for Disease and Control saying that you should stay away from the area if you're a woman or a young child, or if you're a pregnant woman and you're a young child, that you need to stay away from the area. And it gives why and so on and so forth, and you say, okay, well, they're slowly telling us. Then you throw like a hurricane into it. I mean, if you look at the Caribbean right now, there's some low pressure fronts that could develop any time, or they have been developing, but the track is to the north. And you look at that, and then you look at how the oil evaporates, the light hydrocarbons evaporate into the air and come down as a oily rain or like an acid rain, but not just in the Gulf. I mean, we're talking, if you look at an average storm, it goes all the way up to, like the mid-Atlantic states. I mean, all that stuff, that wind, that air, that gas. So you think you're safe up in the north or up in the East Coast. Technically, you might not be if this stuff travels in the air, which it looks like it is. I mean, it could hit the entire East Coast. And then you look at the spill in general going around the tip of Florida and up the coast, and the currents stay really close in. The entire East Coast, not soon. I think that there'd be a better chance of the Gulf being evacuated than the East Coast anytime soon. But this event, they can't stop it. And the way the media is telling us this is they keep giving us reasons. Oh, we're going to do the top kill. Oh, there's so much garbage out there that the common average person believes all this. They really believe that the media is telling them the truth, and that they use that. Think about it. You wake up in the morning in the past, you turn on the television, you see what's on the news, they tell you what they're telling you, you go to work, and whatever, at lunchtime you surf the net and they tell you what they're telling you, you come home and you watch television and you go to bed. So whatever they've told you, you basically believe that. So the matter of fact is, things are dire. From everything I'm hearing, and people getting sick, they're dire, and eventually they will have to evacuate the Gulf. And will it be orderly? I don't know. Can a situation like that ever be orderly? So, but one. What's that? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I just want to say that one of my sponsors called me this last week, and he was telling me that his sales manager, who owns a hotel in, I think it's Arkansas or like Tennessee, and a government official came up and bought all the rooms in the small town. He has like 50 rooms, bought up all the rooms for a definite period of time with not anyone staying there. And they asked, well, what's this for? And they said, possible evacuation. So we're going to buy up all these rooms. So, and it's not just that. The rumor is, or what he was told by other people, is that they're buying up all the places in the small towns. I mean, also this morning, I heard that I forget the guy's name, but he's basically saying that a lot of the wealthy people in the Gulf or in Florida, if you try to get a moving company right now to schedule a move to move out of there, that they're all full. You can't get a mover to get your stuff out of there. So
so people are basically evacuating themselves.
Exactly. People are going to start to evacuate themselves because they see what's happening. Just look at the tourism in Florida. Just look at, they just shut down like Pensacola Beach. I mean, what is that going to do not only to the Florida economy, but what is it going to do to the entire U.S. economy? And the stock market goes up 100 and some points. There's no correlation. You can't use any logic to what is happening, because the only thing I can say is that the way that we're being lied to is that they bring out the GDP results or they bring out the unemployment results, okay? And just today, if you go to Outlivesheep.com, at the top story I put up there this morning, the government revises the growth figures from first quarter. So what they're doing is they're telling us initially, hey, we're growing this great, we're getting better. I mean, the unemployment's getting better. and then a retraction comes out a couple months later saying, oh, well, we made a mistake. We're not really growing at that. We're only growing at this, or there is no growth. But people don't look at that. People know it's just like if you tell a story, and in the newspaper, or on television or whatever it is, and you say something that's completely false about someone else and a slander, libel, whatever it is, and then a week later the newspaper or television does a retraction on the very back page or on the end. It's just like that, and that's how we're being lied to. On the Gulf spill, too, because remember it was only 5,000 barrels or 5,000 gallons that was seeping up, and then it was 10,000, then 50,000, and it's like, what is the figure? Who really knows? I mean, we're stopping it. No, we're not really stopping it. It boggles my mind that every day is a lie to basically the sheep, and that's the whole point of Outlivesheep, is that I want to help people prepare for what's coming, not being a fear monger or anything like that, just looking at the facts and saying, okay, worst case, if everything gets better and I can go make my six-figure income again and watch television and be with my kids and have fun, great. But I will be prepared in case the worst comes. And I think that's the point that people have to look at, is that you're not trying to be paranoid, but there are earthquakes. There are natural disasters that do happen, and this man-made or a natural disaster in the Gulf, who really know? I mean, well, I have my own personal beliefs on it, but being prepared is what is key now. And I mean, it is like getting a water filter, so you make sure that you have, no matter where you have to go, if you have to leave quickly, that you have water. Do you have a source of food? Do you have things that going to McDonald's or Burger King or even the grocery store? I mean, the city of Phoenix here, if you think about it, everything gets trucked into the city. There's very few things that are made in a city about, 4 million people, that in a panic time, just in a regular time, without any more trucks coming in, we have 5 days worth of food in the grocery stores. In a panic, we have 1 to 2 days worth of food, and that's in most every major city across the country. You only have 1 to 2 days worth of food in a panic. So if you don't get in line to be able to do it, how do you provide for yourself and your family? And that's kind of what's key.
Well, it's very admirable what you're doing, and it needs to be more people doing the type of things that you're doing and that we're doing here on the show, to wake more people up. Now, I want to go back to what you were talking about. You're talking about the news people, how they tell you one thing, you go to sleep, you go to work, you hear it on the internet, and then you come home and you hear it, and you go back to sleep. We've been trained since we were young to listen to authority by these people. Ever since we were young, we've been put in front of a TV, and we were told to listen to the doctors, listen to the principal, listen to the teacher, listen to everybody. We've been trained to basically just listen to authority, period. So when you get a news guy come on TV and they look you straight in the eye, they have on a suit and tie, and they say, this is what's happening, you don't question it. Nobody questions that. Nobody says, why is that happening? Nobody says, did that guy that's telling you that, did he investigate it or research it himself, or is he reading it from a script? You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, that right there just lets you know why people are sheep, because people basically follow everything, whatever anybody tells them to do, they just follow it and they just do it.
Yes, and that's exactly right. I mean, you probably were, and I was before we had this mass awakening, or we awakened out of our sleep, I guess. I never cared about current events. I had enough credit cards, and maybe I didn't manage my money well enough, but credit was flowing freely. I mean, I could refinance my house and get $15,000 just in a day, just to, hey, I want a car today. Hey, I'm going to go do that. And it was no focus on what's happening. So we basically just, I don't know how to say it, but we've been lied to all our lives. I mean, it's a matter of control on us. You said in school, I remember that in school we had these guards there, and if you left, you got in trouble at lunchtime that you couldn't leave, and they actually had these guards there. At one time, this is a small town in Winona, Minnesota, where, when the guards pulled a gun on the kid because he left for lunch. And what I graduated, 1994, so this is back in 1991. This stuff has been happening, this type of police state, whatever you want to call it. But what I think really have to look at is all this a diversion? Is the Gulf crisis a diversion for what is a